Hey guys, what's up? It's let's see, 6:45 on Wednesday night when I'm making this. So just wanted to let you know that those of you that have turned in your logic puzzle form so far have done really well. If you turn it in between now and the time that you see this video, obviously I haven't checked that yet, but I will let you know and give you some feedback on that when I get around to checking that. Most important thing is on the things when I'm trying to grade it and it's an external website that is grading it for you, and I ask you to submit a screenshot. Just make sure that that screenshot has either the congratulations and like the how long it took you or what you made on it. You got 7 out of 7 correct or whatever. Make sure that's in the screenshot and it's not just a picture of the puzzle or a picture of the question or something like that, so that I can really see that you're getting it and not just completing it and taking a picture of it and then the whole thing being wrong. Today we're actually going to get started on some math stuff. So we're going to go over some notes here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to be taking our notes for this semester. The first thing is we're starting an online binder that I will be sharing with you. Okay, it looks like this. It's a math eBinder. Okay, this whole homepage right here is left blank for you to be able to put your name, to decorate it, and all that stuff. You can do that stuff on your own time in a little while. Let's see, on the table of contents, it's got all of the units we will be having. Okay, you can click any of them and it will take you to that unit page. Okay, do not delete these PowerPoints that I have on there. Okay, that is, once you have this, that is the only way I have to get you more information into your journal is through these PowerPoints that are on there, because I can't actually edit your site, but I can edit the PowerPoint that I embedded on the template I gave you for your site. Okay, if you followed that. So anyways, today's will be unit 1. So you'll be here. This has notes that we'll be going over in just a minute. And down at the bottom, it's got a spot for vocabulary. This is just a placeholder. You can play with this, edit it however you like. You have all kinds of options on here. It's really neat. I want to encourage you to really make this your own, just like you would your journal. There's no specific way it has to look or anything. So one of the guys that I was watching a video about that made these, he referred to it as social media for math class. So like anything you hear me say that you think, hey, that's going to really help me out, that made a lot of sense, make sure to put it on there somewhere. You can put it on a text box. You can record, like screen record a video of yourself. You can add audio of yourself. All kinds of things on there. So just really play with that and learn how to kind of make it your own. That's how you're going to get the most out of this kind of thing. Now, for as far as notes today, what we're going over are types of real numbers. Okay, this is just the vocabulary I'm going to go through real quick, and then I'll show you kind of how it works and what the activity is going to entail. But a real number is any form of number basically that you know of right now. Okay, a real number is a set of rational and irrational numbers. Real numbers are denoted with those symbols right there, kind of funny looking things. Okay, you'll see those more when you get to high school. You won't see them a whole lot here, but you will see them eventually. You see this one right here more often handwritten, and something that looks like this when it's typed. But a real number is just all numbers, more or less. Okay, when we start talking about types of numbers, in 7th grade you learned about rational numbers. That was the most inclusive category you learned about. Rational number is the set of numbers that can be expressed as a fraction where a and b are not 0. Okay, we don't want to have zeros in our fraction. 0 in the top, 0 in the bottom. They do crazy things. But if you have a number that can be written as a fraction, then it is a rational number. Okay, if you have a decimal that can be written as a fraction, it's still a rational number. Even though it's written in decimal form, if you know that you can change it to a fraction, okay, so if it's a terminating decimal, which means it stops, like 0.25, or if it's a repeating decimal, like 0.333333 with the little bar over it, okay, we know that 0.33333 is 1/3 as a fraction. So even though it goes on forever, it's still a rational number. Any repeating decimal and any terminating decimal is always going to be a rational number. The things that are not rational numbers are irrational numbers. They're things that cannot be expressed as a fraction. Those are going to be things like pi that never repeat and just go on forever. Some of your square roots do the same thing, like the square root of 17 and things like that. If you type it in your phone or your calculator and the numbers never repeat, they just keep going on until your phone or your calculator stops giving you numbers, it's a good guess that that's going to be an irrational number. So then you have integers is the next category under rational numbers. You have integers. Integers are counting numbers and their opposites. So you've got positive and negatives, whole numbers, and zero. Whole numbers are the set of counting numbers and zero. And natural numbers are all positive whole numbers. So that's your counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, all the way to how you want to count. So that's the vocabulary that you're going to be looking at for this unit. Now, as far as your notes, you have this on that eBinder I shared with you. Okay, this is how they stack up. So you have real numbers is your all-inclusive category. Like I said, every number we know pretty much goes in the real number category. Then irrational numbers are out here by themselves. Okay, if it's an irrational number, it can't be any of these other numbers. However, if something's a whole number, in this category here, it's still an integer and a rational number. Okay, just like we live in Upshur County or in Wood County, but that doesn't mean we don't live in Texas. Okay, you can live in Upshur County and you're still living in Texas. You can live in Texas and you're still living in the United States. Okay, saying, hey, I live in Texas is not wrong. Just like saying, hey, the number 1 is an integer is not wrong. It's just not as descriptive. It's real broad. But if I said, hey, I live in Upshur County, that's like saying the number 1 it's more descriptive. It's a whole number. So you can see right here some examples. I told you about this one earlier. It's a repeating fraction. It's going to be a repeating decimal that can be made into a fraction. That's a rational number. You've got a fraction right here. You've got a terminating decimal. Those are all rational numbers. Your irrational numbers are things like pi and several of your square roots. Integers, anything that is only an integer and rational number is always going to be negative because any of our positive integers are also whole numbers. And you may notice that natural numbers is not on there. That's because the only difference in a natural number and a whole number is 0. 0 is a whole number, but it is not a natural number. So if you're trying to determine numbers, I got this flowchart for you here. So you start off, it is a real number. Any number I give you is a real number. You've got to decide if it's rational or irrational. If it's irrational, it stops right there. If it's rational, then you got to decide, is it an integer or a non-integer? Meaning, is it a decimal or a fraction that's a whole number? Or is it something that cannot be made into a whole number? Things like 15 thirds. 15 thirds is actually the whole number 5 because 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, so that would all go on down here. But anyways, if it's an integer, you've got the choice between whole number and your whole number opposites or your negatives. And if it's a whole number, you've got the choice between 0 and natural numbers. So this is just kind of to help you work through and figure out what type of number something is. Now, as far as activities for today, you've got 2 things you're going to do. One thing is this website I'm going to share with you from this game I'm going to share with you from Soft Schools. Okay, you simply click Start, and then you're going to be dragging these numbers where they go. So the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. That is a natural number. You put it in there. If it's right, it gives you a nice little sound. If it's wrong, you take this one and you put it over here. It gives you a nasty sound and pops back up there. So you'll be able to check yourself real easily. When you get, notice it's 1 of 3. When you get all 3 of those done, take a screenshot of it so that I can see you finished it, and you'll submit that. The other activity you're doing comes from Khan Academy. And that activity is just answering these questions here. You've got 2 sets of questions to answer. One is practice classify numbers, rational numbers, and the other is down here, practice classify numbers. They both have 7 questions, and it will grade it on the spot for you. Okay, if you get stuck, there is a hint button that you can use. It won't count that as one of your 7 questions, but it'll give you the hint and kind of help you out there. if anything I've said today doesn't make sense to you, you're not quite getting it, or any time in class, any math class, physics class that you have pretty much for the rest of your career, Khan Academy is an awesome resource for you to go to. Okay, this guy's name is Sal. He has some awesome videos on here talking about recognizing the difference in numbers and things like that. Okay, so just know that that is a resource that you are more than welcome to use all the time. Get done with those, you're going to screenshot how you did on that, and that's going to be how I get your grade for the day, is how you did on that Khan Academy stuff. Like I said, there's 14 questions. It'll grade it for you. So you can do it as many times as you want, I think, until you get the grade that you want. Like I said, there's that hint button if you get stuck. So I hope you have great success with this. If there's anything I can do for you, or any questions I can help you with, anything I can clear up, be that with the new journal, the notes, the concept, whatever, don't hesitate to send me an email or message me or comment on Google Classroom, and I will be more than happy to help you out. I hope that you guys have a great Thursday, and good luck with this stuff.